Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert, and I'm riding solo here on a Wednesday evening. Talon's out in Montreal with Mikey Montreal hanging out there. Joel's in the middle of nowhere, northwest United States, so he's hanging out there in the wilderness. So it's just me coming to you live here with some, 2 game slate here on Thursday. Gonna have some player props. Gonna sneak in some double IIHF World Championship talk at the end as well. So make sure you stick around for that. But yeah, when we last talked to you, it was Monday night. We were just after the Hurricanes win, going into the Avalanche game. Stars took that one pretty handily, 5-1. Wyatt Johnson with a shorthanded goal, power play goal, go up 2-0. Avs, didn't really ever make it a game. It was 3-1 with the Casey Middlestat goal, middle of the second. And then the Stars poured it on for a 5-1 win there in game 4 to take a commanding 3-1 lead. Of course, game 4 is tonight here in just a few hours. So we'll see if the Stars can finish it out at home. And then last night, these playoffs are starting to ramp up. People talking about the playoffs haven't been great so far, but, Hurricanes making this a series now. Bruins making it a series as well down in Florida with Morgan Geekie and Charlie McAvoy really coming up big for Boston. Another goalie interference controversy call on that McAvoy goal with Bobrovsky not being able to play his position, but he was able to have time to reset, got his stick knocked out of his hands by his own teammate. So a lot of goalie interference in these playoffs, especially in that Boston Florida series, which you don't want to see the officiating have a huge hand in it, but that's what today's NHL is with the goal interference, offsides calls, and whatnot. So as we talk about, you just gotta celebrate once, and you celebrate again when the challenge goes your way. And then last night, wild finish there in Edmonton. Vancouver ties the game late with the goalie pulled. Brock Besser shoots it off of Dakota Joshua to tie it up with just over a minute left. And then Evan Bouchard plays hero again with 39 seconds left from the point. Great pass by Leon Draisaitl for Draisaitl's second point of the night to win that one 3-2. That was a close game there. Now that series is tied up, but only one game here tonight on Wednesday, and the 2-game slate on Thursday, May 16th. We're going to be getting into here. Can't believe it's already the second half of May here. It's going to be 2025 before we know it. But before I get into all that, make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts, either on Apple Podcasts. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review there, and I'll read it at the end of the show. Or Spotify. Appreciate a 5-star rating there as well. And YouTube, Hockey Gambling Podcast. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff there helps the show grow. Tell a friend if you know your friend's not necessarily on social media. You can tell them there. Follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN and get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. I got my props for tonight's game in there if you're watching this live, so you can go check that out. Make sure you always check out the Discord in there. And the WNBA season kicked off last night. Caitlin Clark having a great start. Shaky early on, but going out in the WNBA podcast has you covered there. So make sure you check those guys out. Those guys always do a great job. And make sure you subscribe to the SGPN network feed. You get all the podcasts for every sport on the network. Tennis is going on, PGA Championship this weekend. So make sure you check all of that out there. All right, just going to get right into this 2-game slate here on Thursday, May 16th, kicking it off with the New York Rangers at the Carolina Hurricanes. Game itself is in Carolina. Hurricanes are -170. Rangers are +142. Over-under is at 5.5. Overpaying off +102 with the under at -122. Game 4 there. Game 5 was Jacob Trouba scoring on the shorthanded goal in the second period. And then Hurricanes take them to the Rangers there in the third. 4 unanswered goals, including 1 empty netter, and not by their top guys. Jordan Staal got one. It was good to see him get into the series. Kuznetsov got another one with his Bird Selly, Martinuk, and then Marty Necas with the empty netter there. So no Aho points, no Svechnikov points, no Jarvis points. So seeing the Hurricanes' depth shine through there, and their 5-on-5 play has been better. They limited the Rangers to very few high danger chances in that game, just 5. Hurricanes had 13 themselves. Same thing kind of in game 4 as well. Hurricanes had a 14-7 high danger chance advantage, scoring on two of those chances, scored on three of the chances in game 5 there. So going back to Carolina with the series. The series price is probably more enticing here for the Hurricanes. Series is Rangers minus 240 and the Hurricanes at plus 200. That's come down a lot since the Rangers went up 3-0, obviously. And if you like the Canes here in game 6, minus 170 is probably a little bit too much juice to pay. Just take them on the series there at plus 200. Rangers kind of getting scared here. Kind of could have the blow a 3-0 lead. Of course, Peter Laviolette had his Flyers come back from a 3-0 deficit against Boston in 2010. Could be on the other side of that here with the Rangers against the Hurricanes. But yeah, should be another good game here. I think if I had to play anything for this game alone, it would just be the under 5.5 at minus 122. Freddie Anderson looks better after giving up that weak goal to Alexis Lafreniere in game 4. That was. Igor Shesterkin obviously is on his game, and the difference just has been the special teams. The Rangers scored 2 power play goals in both games 1 and 2 to win 4-3, and since then, the Carolina scored a power play goal there in game 4, while the Rangers power play has been 0 for 8. So special teams and goaltending is what wins here in the playoffs, and that seems to be the case here in this series. Carolina's great at home, 31-10-5, including the playoffs and regular season. Rangers are good on the road, 28-13-4. So if you were to play a side in this game, I mean, you probably have to go with the Rangers at plus 142. Maybe like a Rangers plus 2.5 under 6.5 parlay. That's something I tend to do here in these lower scoring series. But for this one, I mean, my best bet for this game would be to take Carolina on the series at plus 200, minus 170 here. I have to imagine, be relatively close to a pick 'em in game 7 if it gets there, with the Rangers maybe slight favorites. Rangers were only minus 101 there in game 5. So yeah, could be a pick 'em. So you'd have the Hurricanes at plus 200 going into that game 7 if they win this one. I do have some props for this game. I have a handful of props. Let me pull those up. Gonna go back to Mika Zibanejad to record an assist. He did not get one on Jacob Trouba's shorthanded goal, which ended a 9-game assist streak for him. He has an assist in every game of the playoffs up until that game 5. He's had an assist in 16 of his past 20 games, and you're getting minus 105 on that. Minus 105, minus 115, depending on your book. So I like because of Zibanejad there. Speaking of Jacob Trouba, he won the NHL or Marc Messier Leadership Award, which is apparently an award that's just given out by Marc Messier. So it's whoever his favorite player is, which is given to the Rangers captain for some nepotism reasons there, it seems like. But he's been big. He got the shorthanded goal, been blocking a lot of shots. He had 6 blocks in game 1, 9 in game 2, 4 in game 3. Only 1 there in game 4, but then 4 again in game 5. So he's had over 3.5 blocks in 8 of his past 9 games here in the playoffs. So I like that at minus 135. You can get that at DraftKings. And then I talked about it before, Alexis Lafreniere. He had the game-tying goal in game 4. You can get him plus 380 to score a goal. Also plus 210 to get an assist there. Wouldn't mind splitting your unit up on that rather than, you can take him to get a point at plus 110 if you want to keep it simple there. But there's a chance he gets 2. There's a chance he gets a goal and an assist. And that price is like plus 380 for a goal and plus 210 for an assist. I don't hate taking that at all for Alexis Lafreniere. And then one more thing here, Chris Kreider to get a point at minus 135. He's been pretty decent for the Rangers in this series. Back-to-back games without a point, but had a point in each of the first 2 games. Had a point in 3 of the 4 games against the Capitals here. So see if the Rangers score a few. I think Kreider could definitely be in on the action along with Zibanejad there. And then going to the Hurricane side, just going to go with Brady Shea to get an assist at plus 150. Of course, he did have that goal in game 4 to pull ahead there. So you can get him for a point at plus 115, but he doesn't score much. He gets many more assists. He's only had one goal in his past 17 games or 16 games here. So much more likely to get an assist, which is plus 154 opposed to plus 115 for a point. So I'll risk the 40 cents there, 40 cents extra on the plus odds to get him to get an assist rather than just a point. So yeah, I think the Carolina Hurricanes probably win this one, probably force a game 7, and hopefully they pull it out. You guys all know I'm a pretty big Canes backer, especially in these playoffs. So, and I hate the Rangers. So it'd be good to see the Rangers choke away a 3-0 lead, especially when we were getting all those jokes about the close sweep from the Hurricanes. It was a close 3-0 lead, 2 overtime wins. Hurricanes are pushing back a little bit. All right, before we get to the late game, make sure you check out Naira. Bet the second jewel of the Triple Crown with NYRA bets. Sign up today for a $200 deposit bonus with the promo code SGPN200. You bet $50 each on the Belmont and any track with the first post at 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday for $10 bonus win or lose. You can also get a $15 bonus win or lose when you bet at least $75 each on Belmont and Monmouth Park. Visit nyrabets.com to opt in. And that's not all. You can score big with a 20% bonus on your ticket winnings by hitting an exacta on any or all races at Belmont at the Big A on Sunday. So get in and get your bonuses at nyrabets.com/SGPN200. And of course, make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy. It's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Sign up with promo code HGP. Playing in their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like points, assists, goals, shots on goal, and more. You can win up to 100 times your entry. And use promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash, I should say. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code HGP. All right, going down to the Western Conference game on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. We've got the Edmonton Oilers at the Vancouver Canucks. Game itself is in Vancouver. Canucks are plus 124. Oilers are minus 148. Over under is at 6.5. Overpaying off plus 100 with the under at minus 120. What a performance by Cal Pickard coming in, making 19 saves on 21 shots there against the Canucks to lead them to victory, tie up the series back at 2 games apiece for the Oilers. But series now shifting back to Vancouver. Vancouver 29-11-6 at home this year. Edmonton only 24-19-2, so only 3 games over 500. I don't know how long you can really rely on Cal Pickard in net to save you, but then looking at it, like Vancouver has done a horrible job of generating any offense this postseason whatsoever. Their high in shots on goal is 29 in their game 6 against Nashville. They had 24 in game 1 against Edmonton, but since then 19 shots, 18 shots, 21 shots, just getting kind of caved in there by the Oilers in terms of the possession and in terms of expected goals too. Game 1, Vancouver had 67% of the expected goals. Since then, Game 2, Edmonton 62%. Game 3, Edmonton 61%. And Game 4, Edmonton 64%. So Edmonton is kind of flexing its muscles now, even though, Draisaitl's a bit beat up. But I don't know. This Vancouver team, I think this series could go 7 games here, going back and forth. It's been a zigzag so far with no team winning back-to-back games, which is why I'm kind of leaning to the Canucks here at plus 124. But I do wonder if the Oilers just kind of have figured things out here. They did get the win in overtime in Vancouver in game 2. Maybe Pickard can stay hot for another game here with the Canucks not really generating too much offense. So yeah, I don't really have a strong play for this game. Once again, series Edmonton minus 190, Vancouver plus 165. I think Edmonton is might be the play here at minus 190. It's like I said for the last game. If you like Edmonton here at minus 148, just take a minus 190 for the series, because if they win here in game 5 in Vancouver, they're going to be huge favorites in game 6 at home, probably over minus 200 again. Then you'll have them minus 190 to win 2 of the next 3 against Vancouver. And, we liked Vancouver before the series, plus 220 for a series price. Maybe we should like them more now that it's Cal Pickard and the goaltending issues in Edmonton. But Vancouver's just inability to generate really any sort of offense after game 1 has been really, really concerning for Canucks fans, Canucks backers here. So I kind of think also minus 148 for this game is a low total for Edmonton. Could see like an Edmonton team total too, if you like that, over 3.5 or over 4.5 if they can open things up. But we have tended to see these series get lower scoring in these playoffs, which is typical in the playoffs. So no real strong play on either side here. Maybe a lean to the under 6.5 minus 120, given Vancouver's offensive issues. But as long as Pickard can play well and Shilovs can stick playing well in net as well for Vancouver. I do have some props here, of course. Leon Draisaitl, going right back to him here. Over 1.5 points at plus 116 at FanDuel. It's plus 100 at DraftKings. He's had multiple points in 5 straight games, 8 of 9 playoff games so far. He's somebody who just picks it up in the playoffs, which, is why before the playoffs, I thought he could potentially beat out McDavid for the Conn Smythe if they do end up winning the cup. And right now he has 2 more points than McDavid. He has 8 goals, 12 assists for 20 points. McDavid only has 2 goals, 16 assists for 18 points. Evan Bouchard's also been great for him. But so yeah, Draisaitl to get 2 points at plus money. Have to take that here in the playoffs. Evan Bouchard as well to get an assist is minus 140. I like that quite a bit. He has 11 assists in 9 playoff games. To score a goal, you can get him at plus 410 right now at FanDuel, plus 400 at MGM, but only 285 at DraftKings. So make sure you shop around. He's scored a goal in 3 straight games, 2 huge goals for Edmonton back-to-back, winning goals for them. So Bouchard's been good. If you can get plus 410, wouldn't hate splitting a unit between, quarter unit to score a goal, plus 410, 3/4 of a unit for an assist at minus 140. He's been pretty steady there for the Oilers, especially here against the Canucks. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, too, to get an assist at plus 100. Did have that goal on the 2-on-1 last game, but before that, he had an assist in 4 straight. He had 3 assists in 1 game against the Kings. He was moved up to the top line with McDavid and Hyman last game. I would imagine that sticks here for this next game. So if that's the case, I like that even more. And he's also is on that top power play unit to give him some extra boost there. And yeah, Evan Bouchard shots on goal too, over 2.5 at minus 175. Don't hate that at all. He's hit that in all 4 games against the Canucks. 4 shots on goal last game, 6 before that, 5 before that, 3 in game 1. So maybe a ladder opportunity if your book allows that. He's had 7 shot attempts in 2 or 7 or more shot attempts in 3 straight games, with 7, 9, and 7 in his past 3. So he's been shooting the puck a lot from the point for the Oilers. And going over to the Vancouver side, Brock Besser's been on a mission for them. He had the hat trick, or not the hat trick, the hat trick taken away, where he was given a goal, 2 goals and an assist. I'm taking him to get a point at minus 165. He has a 5-game point streak going, points in 8 of his past 10 dating back to the regular season, and points in 7 of the last 8 meetings against Edmonton. So he seems to thrive against them there. Minus 165 for him to get a point. And then Quinn Hughes under 2.5 shots on goal at minus 166. He has not had more than 2 shots on goal in any of the past 5 games. He's not even really attempting that many shots either. He had 4 attempts last game, 5 before that, but game 1 and 2, both at home. He had 2 shot attempts and then 3 shot attempts. So I like that quite a bit, under 2.5 at minus 166. I'll put all these in the Discord if in case you didn't, follow along or don't want to have to go back and rewind that. But, quite a few props here for both games, 5 or 6 for both sides. Pick and choose what you like, maybe parlay them if you're into that. I'm not advising that, but sometimes that pays off. So make sure you check out the Discord there. I'll post them there. Okay, so going to look ahead at some NHL futures here. We have 2 days off for Florida and Boston, which seems pretty odd. Which, maybe it's the Celtics game going on and some scheduling issues and whatnot. But here you got Stanley Cup odds right now. Stars are the favorite, plus 240. Panthers at plus 260. That's what we've been talking about. And then after that, 5-1 for both the Rangers and Oilers. Hurricanes 10-1. Canucks 18-1. Bruins 28-1, and Avalanche at 40-1. It does sure seem like it's going to be a Stars and Panthers Stanley Cup final. Stars Avs confidence is not very high right now. Nathan McKinnon even said that here before Game 5, with the Nichushkin news and everything else going on there in Colorado. So Stars should beat them. Stars should be favored over either Edmonton or Vancouver in the Western Conference Final. So yeah, Dallas and Florida should be on a collision course here for the Stanley Cup, but we still got games to play in the second round. Still got a whole Eastern Conference Final to go. Conference winners here. You got Stars minus 120. I think that's probably worth taking here if you're watching this live or listening before the Stars game starts, because if they win here tonight against the Avalanche, they're probably going to go up quite a bit more. And that could change depending if they play the Oilers or Canucks too. But I think the Stars to win the West minus 130 or better would probably be a good look. Same thing in the East with the Panthers plus 110, Rangers plus 200, Hurricanes plus 475, Bruins 12-1. Panthers look like a team that can beat anybody right now, especially in that Eastern Conference. So yeah, plus 110 is a good look. They were at minus odds before their loss last night, in which they looked fine. They didn't look bad against the Bruins. It was a good game there. So just one more game they got to go. Game 6 on Friday night, and then Game 7 would be Sunday if necessary. But I think Panthers have a better than 50% chance right now of winning the East. So getting plus odds on them to do so is definitely not a bad look whatsoever. Go take a quick look at the Conn Smythe market as well. As I noted in the Discord earlier today, Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars. He's down to 40-1 now, but he was 50-1 yesterday. He was 60-1 earlier today. Now he's down 40-1 for the Conn Smythe at Canby Books. That's Bet Rivers, Bet Parks, Unibet, stuff like that. He's 35-1 at FanDuel, which is pretty good as well. 20-1 at DraftKings and 18-1 at Caesars. So, shop around, look for these missed prices here. Ottinger's the favorite plus 750. I'm still not sure if he can win it. If the Stars win the Cup, I don't see it necessarily being a low-scoring series unless somehow it's against Carolina. And they have Wyatt Johnson 12-1. Miro Heiskanen is 20-1 at Canby as well, and 10-1 elsewhere. So that's a good look. He's been on fire for them against the Avalanche and could get some credit for, playing a good two-way game. He does have 12 points, which leads the Stars this playoffs. He's one more than Wyatt Johnson and two more than Jason Robertson. So those are my three looks for Dallas. Ottinger's probably too short right now, plus 750, but Wyatt Johnson 12-1 and Miro Heiskanen 20-1. Then if you have Robertson to get at 40-1 or better, I think that's a good look there. Panthers side is kind of equally as interesting. You got Bobrovsky not quite as high there, 20-1, 28-1, but their two favorites are Barkov and Kachuk, both at 12-1. Barkov's just looking dominant right now against the Bruins. I'm not sure if that's the Boston defense allowing him to do some special work there, but 5 goals, 8 assists now, 13 points in 10 games. He was hot off the score sheet in the last game there, but had 4 points in game 2. He has 8 points in this series so far, so he's ramping it up, and the voters do have recency bias there. Of course, Matthew Tkachuk is probably the most recognizable player. 4 goals, 9 assists for 13 points to tie Barkov there, who has 1 more goal. Both at 12-1, but at that price, I'd probably rather take the Panthers for the Cup at plus 310. Just covers you for those two, covers you for Bob in case there's a low-scoring series, covers you for someone like Verhaeghe or Verhaeghe at 30-1 here, or even Sam Reinhart if he goes on a goal-scoring tear at 45-1. We saw Marchessault do the same thing last year for the Golden Knights. He wasn't really in it there going into the Stanley Cup final. You had Jack Eichel, you had Mark Stone, you had Aiden Hill even, but Marchessault had a few huge goals there in the Stanley Cup final. Could see something similar for Sam Reinhart and the Panthers, but it might just be too late right now to get in on Barkov or Kachuk at 12-1. If you want to take a longer odds, I don't hate Reinhart at 45-1. Could see him stepping it up with some goals in the Stanley Cup final, conference final, and that's really what the voters look at. They don't remember the assists necessarily. unless they have a lot more points. They look at the goals, they remember who scores. So that's the narrative driven award voting to watch. Other teams, players here to look at. Shesterkin's at 8-1. I guess he'd probably win it if the Rangers won it all. You do have Zibanejad's been good. Panarin's been good. Trocheck has been good at times too, but Panarin 40-1. Don't hate that. Zibanejad 40-1. Trocheck, but yeah, Shesterkin probably does have the narrative. He's getting his numbers inflated a bit by the Canes. His save percentage now only behind Jeremy Swayman. He's at 9.24 save percentage, 2-3 goals against, 7-2 in the playoffs. So especially if the Rangers don't lose too many games, he's probably the favorite there. He's rightfully the favorite at 8-1, but right now I'd rather just take the Rangers at 5-1 for the Cup and not risk that extra of one of their star players going off in the final two series there. Besides that, I mean, Edmonton has a chance. I guess McDavid plus 850 is the time to get in on him, because if they win game 6, or if they win game 5 and then win the series, that's going to come down quite a bit. I still think Draisaitl has some value though. He's 12-1, 14-1 at some books, but 30-1 at Canby. If you're at a Canby book and it's still 30-1, that's more than double the price of elsewhere. I think that's still worth looking at given how he's performing in the playoffs. I don't think Bouchard can win it, but his odds have to be really long, because all of his goals or all of his points come along with a McDavid point or a Draisaitl point. But 250-1 it can be when he's 60-1 elsewhere, 80-1 elsewhere. Like, that's not worth throwing worth throwing $1 on, and you win 250 if that somehow comes through. I don't think it's very realistic. I think that there's a chance that his odds shorten and maybe you can cash out or sell that bet somehow. But if it's Edmonton, it's going to be McDavid at plus 850 or Draisaitl at 30-1, and therefore Draisaitl would be the play right now at 30-1, especially when he's 14-1 elsewhere. I would not recommend 14-1, but 30-1 I would definitely recommend for Edmonton. I think that covers most of the teams here. I guess Carolina we could talk about. Jake Gensel's the favorite, 30-1 for them. But we'll talk about them if they're able to even up the series and force a game 7. They might have an actual chance here. But for now, we are brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite event should not be stressful, and Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. You get last-minute deals, save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, comedy, concerts, and theater. Save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose a seat. You choose a section, you don't know what seats you're getting, but you get a deal on the tickets there. So we all love a deal here. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I'm going to close the show out here with some IIHF World Championship talk. I haven't been watching these games. I've been following them. This is just based off looking at who teams have played, looking at the box scores and stuff like that. So don't go too heavy on these if you're betting these, but it's daytime hockey, 10:20 a.m. Eastern time, and then 2:20 p.m. Eastern time as well. Starting off, Finland versus Austria at 10:20. Finland's a huge favorite, minus 1,400 on the puck line, minus 3.5. Is minus 102. That's what I'm looking at. Finland started the tournament with a 1-0 shootout loss to the Czechs. Since then, they've allowed a total of 28 shots on goal in 2 games, 8-0 against Great Britain, 4-1 against Norway, while Austria lost 5-1 to Denmark, lost 6-5 to Switzerland, And then we're losing 6-1 to Canada in the third period before Jordan Binnington shit the bed there. So, but I think Finland can probably, limit Austria to 14 shots on goal or fewer again, while scoring, 4 or 5 goals themselves, if not more. So I like Finland there, -3.5 at +100. Other early game is Kazakhstan against Sweden. Sweden are the favorites here to win it all. I think they're around +250 right now. I would still recommend that if you're looking for a futures bet here, +250 for Sweden. Kazakhstan got a win against France 3-1, then lost to Slovakia 6-2 and Latvia 2-0. Sweden beat USA 5-2, beat Poland 5-1, and beat Germany 6-1. So looking at a Sweden team total here, over 4.5 is -200. They've scored 5 or more goals in all 3 games. Over 5.5 at +110 if you want the plus odds. They scored 6 against Germany. Should be looking to run up the score and have a good time there against Kazakhstan. Alternatively, -3.5, -160 could be worth a look rather than the over 4.5. I have to imagine if Sweden does score 5 goals, they're not going to allow more than 1 goal to Kazakhstan. They've only allowed 4 goals all tournament, and 2 of them were to USA, who is one of the other, teams competing for the championship there. So Sweden on the puck line, -3.5, -160, -4.5, +125. Maybe split that up there for safer plays. Later games, you do have France against USA. USA huge favorites here, but USA hasn't necessarily looked great. They lost to Switzerland 5-2. They lost to Slovakia in overtime 5-4. Did beat Germany 6-1. France has played a bunch of low-scoring, close games. Lost 3-1 to Kazakhstan, 3-2 to Latvia, and 4-2 to Poland. I believe I've written down here. So I hate to say it, but France here +3.5 at +136 maybe worth a look. +4.5 -162, especially with a game total of 6.5 and the line is 3.5. I think could see like a 4-2 USA win here with France covering, because USA may be looking to play a little bit more responsibly defensively after their tough loss to Slovakia. And finally, we got Norway against Canada. Canada, the huge favorite here. Canada beat Great Britain 4-2, then Denmark 5-1, and then that 7-6 win over Austria with Jordan Binnington shitting the bed, as I mentioned. Norway has lost 5-2 to Switzerland, 6-3 to Czech, 4-1 to Finland, and then beat Denmark 2-1. I'm not sure who's going to be starting in net here for Canada, but you can't look anywhere besides Norway here. I think +3.5. They've kept it within 3 goals in all 3 of their losses. I know Canada is better than Switzerland, Czech, and Finland, but Canada's only 1 win by margin. They beat Great Britain by 2, and then Denmark by 4. Norway did beat Denmark by 2. So do some math there. It's only a 2-goal difference. So don't hate +3.5 at +130 here at DraftKings. That's a good price. Also do like Connor Bedard to score a goal. Make sure you shop around. Shop around for these anytime goal scorer bets between DraftKings, between FanDuel, between Kambi. Some big discrepancies. I got a few big discrepancies today that hit for me. Who scored? There was Nino Niederreiter scored. I believe Nico Hischier scored for Switzerland. So Bedard is -155 at some books. I found him -125 at FanDuel. He's scored in every game so far. I think he scored 2 goals last game. He's leading the tournament with what's he got? 5 goals in 3 games. So look that way. Yeah, just look at the IIHF.com. Look at the goal scoring leaders. Compare their prices across the books, and if there's any major discrepancies, I would throw something down on that and have a fun bet to watch along with. So that's what I'm looking for Thursday's World Championship bets. I do like Sweden to win it all at +250. I believe they're one of the host countries or close to one of the host countries. I know it's in Prague and somewhere else, Ostrava. That's in the Czech. So yeah, it's in Czech Republic, which is close enough to Sweden. Sweden is the favorite. Sweden has they have Victor Hedman, Erik Karlsson, Bo Byram. Bo Byram's a good bet to score for Canada on FanDuel. But they have a bunch of good defensemen, enough forwards, decent goaltending. So Sweden at +250, if you can still get that at BetMGM, is worth taking for the long haul here. All right, that's going to do it here for me today. Make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify. Also subscribe on YouTube at Hockey Gambling Podcast there. Like, comment on videos. We appreciate all of that stuff. Follow on Twitter at HockeySGPN, and then get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord, or reach out to myself or your Twitter account. I'll point you in the right direction. I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop. See ya.